Today, we're counting down the top 5 most valuable coins that may look completely ordinary, but could actually be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's auction market. From rare mint marks to incredible error coins and hidden treasures still found in circulation, these coins are shocking collectors across the United States. One of these rare coins could already be hiding in your pocket change or old collection right now, so let's get started. First coin, the 1976D Jefferson. Nickel might look like an ordinary 5-cent coin at first glance, but collectors across the United States are paying serious attention to certain rare examples that have become incredibly valuable in today's auction market. Many people ignore these old nickels because they were heavily circulated for decades, but hidden among pocket change and old coin jars are rare specimens with unique details, strong strike quality, and unusual surface characteristics that can push their value into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. One extremely rare one, 1976D. Jefferson nickel shocked the coin collecting world after reports connected it to an auction value close to $360,000 because of its extraordinary condition, rare surface appearance, and highly desirable collector features. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located beside the date on the front of the coin. Millions were minted during 1976, but only a tiny number survived in exceptional condition, with sharp details and rare visual characteristics that serious collectors search for today. The obverse side of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson with strong hair detail, clear facial lines, and smooth lettering. On valuable examples, collectors often look closely at the cheek area, jawline, and fields surrounding the portrait because these areas easily show scratches and circulation damage. A circulated example with heavy wear usually carries only small value, but some circulated coins become extremely desirable if they display rare minting traits or unusual strike quality. One famous feature often mentioned by collectors is the so-called Scarface appearance. This nickname refers to deep marks, dramatic die cracks, or unusual raised lines across Jefferson's face that make the coin visually distinctive. Some collectors believe these dramatic marks were caused by damaged dies during production at the Denver Mint. Others believe certain scar-like marks formed after years of circulation, but became attractive because of the coin's unique appearance and rarity. Regardless of the exact cause, unusual scar patterns on rare Jefferson nickels can attract major attention at auctions when combined with very fine condition and strong luster. The reverse side of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, with the denomination 5 cents clearly displayed below. On high-grade examples, the steps of Monticello become extremely important. Collectors pay premium prices for nickels showing sharp full steps details because these are much harder to find. Many 1976D nickels were weakly struck, meaning the steps appear flat or incomplete. A sharply struck full steps example in very fine to near mint condition can become extraordinarily valuable when preserved properly over the years. Coin experts also inspect the surfaces carefully for scratches, discoloration, corrosion, and cleaning marks. Some rare circulated examples maintain original mint luster despite decades of use, making them especially desirable. A nickel with smooth silver-gray color, minimal damage, and strong detail can command impressive prices in the competitive coin market. During recent years, demand for rare Jefferson nickels has grown rapidly as collectors search for hidden treasures still overlooked by the public. Auction houses have seen increased bidding activity for unusual nickels with mint errors, rare strike characteristics, and outstanding preservation. The famous 1976D Jefferson nickel, associated with a value near $360,000, reportedly stood out because of its exceptional eye appeal, strong strike, unusual scarface markings, and remarkable survival state despite circulation history. Professional grading services play an important role in determining value because authentication and condition greatly influence collector demand. Even tiny differences in grade can change a coin's value dramatically. A heavily worn nickel might only sell for a few cents above face value, while a rare, very fine example with unique characteristics can become a headline auction piece. Collectors often use magnifying glasses and special lighting to inspect nickels for die cracks, doubling, strike errors, and surface quality. Some search through bankrolls hoping to discover valuable Jefferson nickels still hiding in circulation today. The excitement of finding a rare coin in everyday change continues to attract new collectors into the hobby every year. Older family coin collections also sometimes contain overlooked treasures because many people saved nickels casually without realizing their future value potential. The 1976 Jefferson nickel remains one of the most talked about modern-era 5-cent coins among dedicated collectors because it represents the possibility that even ordinary-looking coins can become extraordinary discoveries. Stories of valuable nickels selling for massive amounts inspire collectors everywhere to examine their change more carefully. Some experts believe additional rare examples may still exist unnoticed in private collections, old piggy banks, or forgotten coin albums. The combination of Denver mint production, circulated rarity, Scarface appearance, very fine condition, and strong collector demand continues to make this coin highly desirable in today's market. For serious collectors, the thrill comes not only from the potential value, but from the history carried by each coin. Every scratch, mark, and detail tells part of the story of where that nickel traveled over the decades. A single rare Jefferson nickel can transform from simple pocket change into a legendary collector item worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, proving that hidden treasures may still be waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. Next coin, the 1985p Jefferson nickel is one of those American coins that many people have seen before, but almost nobody realizes could be connected to massive collector value in today's auction market. Millions of these 5-cent coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint during the mid-1980s. And because they were used heavily in circulation, most people considered them ordinary pocket change for decades. However, a small number of rare examples have become incredibly desirable among coin collectors because of their condition, strike quality, unusual surface marks, and rare visual characteristics. One extraordinary 1985p Jefferson nickel has been linked to an estimated auction value close to $340,000 due to its exceptional preservation, rare Scarface appearance, and strong collector demand. The Philadelphia Mint produced these coins with the P Mint mark, which appears beside the date on the front of the coin. During the 1980s, the Philadelphia Mint was creating enormous quantities of nickels for circulation across the United States, but only a tiny fraction survived in very fine condition with unusual collector features. Most examples became damaged, scratched, cleaned, or worn down after years of use in stores, vending machines, banks, and daily transactions. That is exactly why collectors become excited when they discover a circulated 1985p nickel with sharp details, strong luster, and unusual markings that separate it from ordinary examples. The front of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson facing left, surrounded by the inscriptions, "Liberty and In God We Trust." On rare, high-grade examples, collectors examine Jefferson's cheek, jawline, hair details, and surrounding fields under magnification to look for valuable features. One of the most talked-about characteristics associated with rare Jefferson nickels is the famous Scarface appearance. This nickname is used by collectors when dramatic lines, die cracks, or unusual raised marks appear across Jefferson's face, giving the portrait a scarred appearance. Some experts believe these marks were caused by damaged mint dies during production, while others think circulation and contact marks created a unique pattern that later became desirable among collectors. Whatever the cause, certain Scarface nickels have attracted major attention because they look visually different from standard coins and are much harder to find. The reverse side of the 1985p Jefferson nickel displays Monticello, the historic Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson. Collectors pay extremely close attention to the steps leading to Monticello because full steps examples are considered highly valuable. Many Jefferson nickels from the 1980s were struck weakly, making the steps appear incomplete or flat. A sharply struck coin with clearly visible full steps details can command huge premiums, especially when combined with rare surface characteristics and very fine circulated condition. Coin collectors also study the surfaces carefully for scratches, discoloration, cleaning marks, and unusual minting errors. Interestingly, some circulated nickels become more attractive because they show light wear, while still maintaining original mint shine underneath the surfaces. These coins often display smooth silver-gray color and attractive toning that increases their visual appeal in auctions. The famous 1985p Jefferson Nickel, connected with the massive auction value, reportedly stood out because of its combination of very fine preservation, Scarface features, strong strike quality, and remarkable eye appeal. Serious collectors are always searching for coins that combine rarity with unusual appearance because such pieces often become centerpieces in competitive collections. Professional grading services also play a major role in determining the final market value of these nickels. A coin graded at a higher level can become worth dramatically more than a similar coin with only slightly lower quality. Experts inspect every detail carefully, including edgeware, surface marks, strike sharpness, luster, and overall eye appeal before assigning a grade. Even tiny imperfections can affect value significantly in the competitive world of rare coin collecting. Over the last several years, the market for Jefferson nickels has grown stronger as more collectors realize that valuable treasures can still be hidden inside everyday change or old family collections. Some people search through bankrolls hoping to discover rare nickels that others overlooked. Others examine inherited coin jars and albums, sometimes finding coins that remained untouched for decades. The excitement comes from the possibility that a simple 5-cent piece could suddenly turn out to be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stories about valuable Jefferson nickels continue spreading across the internet, inspiring both experienced collectors and beginners to pay closer attention to old coins. The 1985p Jefferson nickel remains especially interesting because it represents the idea that even modern coins can become legendary collectibles under the right circumstances. A circulated nickel with unusual Scarface markings, very fine condition, strong full steps detail, and original surfaces can become an extraordinary rarity in today's market. Some collectors believe there are still undiscovered examples waiting to be found in old drawers, forgotten collections, or loose pocket change. Every mark and scratch on these coins tells part of their history, showing where they traveled and how they survived through decades of circulation. What once seemed like an ordinary nickel may now represent one of the most exciting discoveries in American coin collecting. The possibility of finding a rare 1985p Jefferson nickel worth an incredible amount of money keeps collectors searching every day, proving that hidden treasures can still exist in the most unexpected places across the United States. Next coin, the 1982p Jefferson nickel has become one of the most fascinating modern American 5-cent coins discussed by collectors because a few extremely rare examples have reached unbelievable prices in today's auction market. At first glance, the coin appears completely ordinary, and millions of Americans use these nickels every single day during the early 1980s without giving them a second thought. These coins passed through grocery stores, restaurants, vending machines, banks, and cash registers across the country for decades. Most examples became heavily worn, scratched, damaged, or discolored after years of circulation, but a very small number survived in remarkable condition with rare visual characteristics that now attract serious collector attention. One exceptional 1982p Jefferson nickel reportedly became associated with an estimated value near $350,000 because of its very fine preservation, unusual Scarface appearance, and strong strike quality. The P mint mark beside the date confirms that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced enormous quantities of nickels during 1982 for circulation throughout the United States. Although millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived with the combination of rarity, eye appeal, and condition that collectors search for today. The front of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson facing left, surrounded by the inscriptions, "Mo Liberty and In God We Trust." Collectors carefully inspect Jefferson's portrait under magnification because the cheek, jawline, hair, and surrounding fields quickly show wear during circulation. Coins with smooth surfaces, sharp details, and minimal heavy damage become much more valuable over time. One of the most talked about features connected with rare Jefferson nickels is the famous Scarface effect. This nickname is used when unusual raised lines, dramatic marks, die cracks, or scar-like features appear across Jefferson's face. Some experts believe these marks developed because of damaged mint dies during production, while others think circulation combined with striking imperfections created the unusual appearance. Regardless of the exact origin, Scarface nickels stand out visually and often attract enormous attention from collectors because they look dramatically different from normal coins. Many collectors appreciate these marks because they give the coin unique personality and character that cannot easily be duplicated. The reverse side of the 1982p Jefferson nickel displays Monticello, the historic Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson. Collectors closely examine the steps leading to Monticello because full steps details are considered one of the most important indicators of quality and rarity. Many Jefferson nickels from the early 1980s were weakly struck, causing the steps to appear blurry or incomplete. Finding a circulated example with clear full steps details, especially one that also has scarface characteristics and very fine preservation, is extremely difficult. Coins with sharp architectural details and strong strikes often become highly desirable in competitive auctions because they demonstrate superior production quality compared to ordinary examples. Surface preservation is another major factor influencing value. Serious collectors inspect every part of the coin looking for scratches, cleaning marks, corrosion, discoloration, and unnatural wear patterns. Some circulated examples become especially valuable because they still maintain traces of original mint luster underneath light wear. These coins often display attractive silver-gray surfaces with smooth texture and natural toning that collectors admire. A nickel that survived decades without harsh cleaning or severe environmental damage can become worth significantly more than heavily worn examples. The famous 1982p Jefferson nickel, connected with the extraordinary auction value, reportedly showed beautiful surfaces, sharp strike quality, and highly distinctive scarface markings that separated it from ordinary circulated nickels. The combination of rarity, visual appeal, and preservation transformed the coin into one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels discussed in modern collecting circles. Professional grading services also play a huge role in determining market value because authentication and condition are essential for expensive coins. Experts carefully study every detail, including luster, strike sharpness, contact marks, edge wear, and overall eye appeal before assigning an official grade. Even very small differences in condition can cause dramatic changes in auction value. An average circulated nickel may only carry minimal collector interest, while a sharply preserved example with rare characteristics can suddenly become worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Interest in Jefferson nickels has increased dramatically in recent years because collectors are realizing that valuable treasures can still hide in ordinary pocket change and old collections. Social media videos, online auctions, and collector communities continue spreading stories about rare nickels discovered unexpectedly in everyday places. Some collectors search through bankrolls for hours hoping to uncover valuable Jefferson nickels overlooked by others. Others examine inherited collections, old jars, or forgotten coin albums stored away for decades. The excitement comes from the possibility that a simple 5-cent coin might actually be a hidden rarity worth a fortune. The 1982p Jefferson nickel represents that dream perfectly because it proves that modern coins can still become legendary collectibles under the right conditions. Every scratch, mark, and detail tells part of the coin's journey through circulation and history. Rare examples continue inspiring collectors across the United States to inspect their coins more carefully than ever before. Many experts believe undiscovered examples may still remain hidden inside private collections, old drawers, or containers filled with loose change. The possibility of discovering one of these rare nickels keeps collectors searching every day. A circulated 1982p Jefferson nickel with strong full steps details, unusual scarface features, attractive surfaces, and very fine preservation can transform from ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary auction coin worth an incredible amount of money in today's highly competitive collector market. Next coin, the 1969D. Jefferson nickel is one of the most fascinating 5-cent coins ever discussed by American coin collectors because certain rare examples have become incredibly valuable in today's auction market. At first glance, this coin appears to be an ordinary nickel that passed through millions of hands during the late 1960s and early 1970s, but hidden among those common pieces are a few extraordinary survivors with rare details, sharp strikes, and unusual surface features that make collectors willing to pay astonishing amounts of money. One rare 1969D. Jefferson nickel reportedly reached an estimated value near $370,000 because of its exceptional condition, strong visual appeal, and famous scarface appearance. The D mint mark on the front of the coin shows it was produced at the Denver Mint, where millions of Jefferson nickels were struck during 1969 for circulation across the United States. Most of these coins entered daily commerce immediately and suffered years of heavy wear, scratches, dents, and environmental damage. Because of that, very fine circulated examples with attractive surfaces and sharp details have become much harder to locate today. Collectors constantly search through old collections, bankrolls, estate boxes, and forgotten coin jars, hoping to discover one of these valuable nickels before someone else notices it. The obverse side of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson facing left with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" surrounding the portrait. Serious collectors study the portrait carefully, paying special attention to Jefferson's hair detail, cheek area, jawline, and the smoothness of the coin's fields. One of the most famous features associated with rare Jefferson nickels is the Scarface effect. This nickname refers to dramatic raised lines, die cracks, or unusual marks that appear across Jefferson's face, creating a scar-like appearance. Some coin experts believe these unusual marks were caused by damaged dies used during minting at the Denver facility, while others think certain circulation marks combined with die characteristics created a unique appearance that later became highly collectible. Regardless of the exact explanation, Scarface nickels stand out visually and often attract major attention from collectors and auction houses because they look unlike normal Jefferson nickels. The reverse side of the 1969D Jefferson nickel displays Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. Collectors closely examine the steps leading to Monticello because full steps details are considered one of the most important features for determining rarity and value. Many nickels from this period were weakly struck, leaving the steps blurry or incomplete. Finding a circulated coin with strong full steps detail, especially one that also shows very fine preservation and Scarface characteristics, is extremely difficult. That combination of rarity, sharp strike quality, and eye appeal is what can turn an ordinary-looking nickel into a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in competitive auctions. Surface condition also plays an enormous role in determining value. Collectors inspect coins under magnification looking for scratches, cleaning damage, corrosion, discoloration, and contact marks. Interestingly, some circulated examples become more desirable because they maintain original mint luster underneath lightwear. These nickels often display attractive silver-gray color and natural toning that collectors appreciate. A coin that avoided harsh cleaning or serious damage during decades of circulation can command huge premiums when compared to heavily worn examples. The famous 1969D Jefferson nickel associated with the massive auction value reportedly showed remarkable preservation despite years in circulation. Its surfaces remained unusually smooth. The strike appeared strong, and the Scarface feature gave the coin unique visual character that separated it from ordinary examples. Professional grading services also influence the value dramatically because authentication and condition are essential in the rare coin market. Experts carefully inspect every detail of the coin before assigning an official grade. Even tiny differences in quality can cause the value to rise or fall significantly. A heavily worn 1969D nickel might only be worth face value, while a rare, very fine example with full steps and Scarface features could become one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels in existence. Interest in Jefferson nickels has grown rapidly during recent years because collectors increasingly realize that modern-era coins can still hide incredible rarities. Social media, online auctions, and coin collecting videos have inspired thousands of people to examine old nickels more carefully than ever before. Stories about rare Jefferson nickels selling for enormous prices continue spreading throughout the collecting community, creating excitement among both experienced collectors and beginners. Some collectors spend years searching for a single rare example with the right combination of strike quality, circulation history, and unusual mint characteristics. Others discover valuable coins accidentally while sorting through inherited collections or old change containers stored away for decades. The possibility that a simple 5-cent coin could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars continues to fascinate people everywhere. The 1969D Jefferson nickel represents more than just money because every mark and detail tells part of its history. The coin traveled through countless hands, survived decades of circulation, and somehow managed to preserve the qualities collectors value most today. Rare examples continue to capture attention because they prove that hidden treasures can still exist in everyday places. Many experts believe additional valuable Jefferson nickels may still remain undiscovered in private collections or forgotten jars across the United States. For collectors, the excitement comes from the possibility that the next extraordinary discovery could appear at any moment. A single circulated Jefferson nickel with very fine condition, strong full steps detail, original surfaces, and dramatic Scarface markings could transform from ordinary pocket change into one of the most valuable nickels ever seen in the modern auction market. Next coin, the 1983p Jefferson. Nickel is one of the most interesting modern American 5-cent coins because a few rare examples have become extremely valuable in today's auction market. At first glance, the coin appears ordinary, and millions of Americans use these nickels every single day during the 1980 SS, without realizing that some would later become hidden treasures worth an incredible amount of money. Most 1983p Jefferson. Nickels spent years moving through circulation in stores, banks, restaurants, vending machines, and pocket change across the United States. Because they were heavily used, the majority became scratched, worn, damaged, or discolored over time. However, a very small number survived in very fine condition with rare features that collectors now search for aggressively. One extraordinary 1983p Jefferson. Nickel reportedly gained attention because of an estimated value near $350,000 due to its unusual Scarface appearance, strong strike quality, and impressive preservation despite circulation history. The P mint mark beside the date shows the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which manufactured massive quantities of nickels during 1983. Even though millions were struck, only a tiny percentage survived with the sharp details, clean surfaces, and rare visual characteristics needed to attract serious collector interest today. The obverse side of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson facing left with the words, "Liberty and in God we trust" surrounding the portrait. Collectors examine Jefferson's cheek, jawline, hair detail, and surrounding fields very carefully because these areas reveal wear quickly during circulation. Coins with smooth surfaces and strong detail become much more desirable because they are difficult to find after decades of use. One of the most famous features connected with rare Jefferson nickels is the Scarface effect. This nickname describes unusual raised lines, dramatic scratches, die cracks, or scar-like marks appearing across Jefferson's face. Some coin experts believe these features formed because of damaged mint dies during production, while others think the unusual appearance resulted from circulation combined with striking imperfections. Whatever the exact cause, Scarface nickels attract enormous attention because they look very different from ordinary examples. Collectors often consider these marks part of the coin's identity, making each rare example visually unique and historically interesting. The reverse side of the 1983p Jefferson. Nickel displays Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic Virginia home. Collectors pay especially close attention to the steps leading to Monticello because full steps details are considered one of the most important signs of rarity and quality. Many Jefferson nickels from the early 1980s were weakly struck, causing the steps to appear flat or incomplete. Finding a circulated coin with clear full steps details, especially one that also shows Scarface characteristics and very fine preservation, is extremely rare. Coins with sharp architectural details and strong strikes often command major premiums because they demonstrate exceptional mint production quality. Surface preservation also plays a huge role in determining auction value. Serious collectors inspect every detail of the coin under magnification, searching for scratches, cleaning damage, corrosion, and unnatural discoloration. Some circulated nickels become highly valuable because they still maintain traces of original mint luster beneath lightwear. These coins often show smooth silver-gray surfaces and attractive natural toning that collectors appreciate. A nickel that survived decades without harsh cleaning or severe damage becomes far more desirable in today's collector market. The famous 1983p Jefferson nickel, associated with the extraordinary value, reportedly stood out because of its excellent eye appeal, unusual Scarface markings, and very fine circulated condition. The combination of rarity, strong strike quality, and attractive surfaces transformed this ordinary-looking 5-cent coin into one of the most talked-about Jefferson nickels among collectors. Professional grading services also play an important role in determining market value because authentication and condition are essential for expensive coins. Experts carefully study the coin's luster, strike sharpness, edge wear, contact marks, and overall eye appeal before assigning an official grade. Even tiny differences in quality can dramatically affect value. A heavily worn example may only be worth a small amount above face value, while a sharply preserved coin with rare features could suddenly become worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in a competitive auction environment. Interest in Jefferson. Nickels has grown rapidly during recent years because collectors increasingly realize that modern coins can still hide extraordinary rarities. Social media videos, online auctions, and coin collecting communities continue sharing stories about valuable nickels discovered unexpectedly in everyday places. Some collectors spend hours searching through bankrolls, hoping to uncover rare Jefferson nickels overlooked by others. Others inspect inherited collections, old jars, and forgotten boxes filled with loose change. The excitement comes from the possibility that an ordinary 5-cent coin could actually be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1983p Jefferson nickel perfectly represents that dream because it proves that valuable treasures can still exist in circulation today. Every scratch, mark, and detail tells part of the coin's journey through American history. Rare examples continue inspiring both experienced collectors and beginners to inspect their coins more carefully than ever before. Many experts believe additional valuable Jefferson nickels may still remain hidden inside private collections, old drawers, and forgotten containers of pocket change. The possibility of finding one of these rare nickels keeps collectors searching every single day. A circulated 1983p Jefferson nickel with strong full steps details, attractive surfaces, unusual scarface characteristics, and very fine preservation can transform from ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary auction coin worth an unbelievable amount of money in today's competitive coin collecting market.